House Speaker Pelosi is using her political position to cash in on the stock market.
Well, she knows things other people don't, and she controls some of the legislation.
Yes, and the regulations that go into effect that would impact these companies. Now, the article says, in part, after decades in public service, Pelosi has amassed an estimated net worth of anywhere between $40 million and $252 million. And recently, her family invested millions, as what Bob was just saying, in call options, betting that the stock price would go up on companies like Google, Salesforce, Micron Technology, and Roblox is another one. A lot of those big tech companies.
Yeah. Joining us now to discuss this and more, host of the Watchdog on Wall Street radio show, Chris Markowski. Chris, what do you think?
You know, it reminds me of an old George Carlin skit. It's a big club and you ain't in it. That's basically the reality of the situation. You can go back, you watch the movie Wall Street, and Blue Horseshoe loves Blue Star Airlines. These members of Congress, they direct legislation. They're in charge of the tax code. They know where money is going to flow. So obviously, you know, if I were to engage in any of the activities that they engaged in, I'd lose my license, I'd go to jail. And this has been going on for a while. Peter Schweitzer wrote a great book about this. It was around 2011, 2012, when they put the Stock Act into play, but it had no teeth in it. And in my opinion, probably what Ossoff's doing, this is going to obviously trying to draw a lot of attention, is drawing attention, but anything that they might pass, if they pass anything, will end up getting watered down. It's not just stocks. Take, for instance, Dennis Hastert, the late Dennis Hastert, who got himself in all sorts of trouble. He was a high school wrestling coach and ended up becoming a multi-millionaire because he was able to invest in real estate in certain areas, knowing that government contracts were headed in that direction. So it's not just in stocks, it's here, there, and everywhere. You mentioned Nancy Pelosi. We can go back to when they were changing the minimum wage laws back in the mid-2000s. She exempted the island nation of Samoa. As it turned out, she was invested, her family was invested in a tuna factory there, where they were basically canning tuna, and they benefited from that. So again, they're able to set themselves up in a very interesting way. Big club, and I'm not in it.
So it's like using insider information for their benefit across the board. You're not just talking about stocks, but then how do you do it? And we can actually bring up some of these full screens because we went through some of the companies that she was involved in, and then we also have some of the numbers after that, the numbers that she traded. But so how can it be stopped?
Well, I think heading, and which they should have gone in the first place, they should have a blind trust. They shouldn't be able to actually, see what's going on. Having somebody manage that, that's probably the best route to go. And they've always had pushback when it comes to that. And yeah, I think immediate family members should be involved. You're a member of Congress. And again, this is a country where trillions of dollars are being funneled through Washington, D.C. every single year, not to mention the size of our economy and the type of influence you have in these positions. You go through. Again, you can look at the CV of any of these members, most of these members of Congress, the overwhelming majority of them, most of them have worked in the private sector and built businesses up or built wealth outside of government. How in God's creation, based on these salaries, that you walk away, multimillionaires, a zillion times over? It's crazy.
All right, Chris, you are the watchdog on Wall Street. Thank you so much.
Thank you.